So some characteristics of the vocal fry. Hello and welcome to Onyie Sings Voice Detective. Welcome everyone. So let's get right into it. What is today's case? Is vocal fry a vocal register? Well, before we get into it, feel free to like and subscribe. So some characteristics of the vocal fry. Let's begin with what a vocal fry sounds like. This is what vocal fry sounds like, and this is what it sounds like to speak entirely in vocal fry, which probably makes you uncomfortable. It does to me too. I don't like the sound of it, but it's easy to produce. So that's vocal fry, basically speaking in that fry place, fry noise. So vocal fry is considered the lowest registration. And while I struggle to call it a registration, and other vocal professionals also struggle to call it registration, but there are many that believe that it is also a form of vocal registration. One of the characteristics that we all know is that creaking, popping, or frying sound, which comes from a loose glottal closure where air is seeping through and creating that popping or bubbling or frying sound that we're used to hearing. Vocal fry is also called glottal fry or glottal scrape. Another characteristic of fry is shortened vocal folds. Now, there are a ton of conflicting educated theories and opinions and research papers and all sorts of things that I've read quite a bit of and will continue to for the rest of my life, as many of us will have to if we want to stay on top of the research and the science of this. For now, the data is inconclusive, basically. Everybody has tried everything, and there are so many variables that you have to consider to be able to even kind of really figure out what the physiological, long-term as well as short-term effects of vocal fry are. So what everyone's doing is kind of making educated guesses based on very small amounts of data. I am inundated with this information, and yet now in 2023, and I cannot believe that because I remember talking about this in like 2007, 2006, but in 2023 I'm still saying what I said in 2007, which is the jury's still out. And really quickly, vocal registers include chest voice, head voice, mix, falsetto, and so outside of that, we also have vocal fry and whistle register. Vocal fry is all the way on the lowest side of the spectrum, where whistle is all the way on the highest side of the spectrum. In order from lowest to highest, we would go vocal fry, chest voice, mix, head voice or falsetto, whistle tones. And when it comes to falsetto and head voice, you'll often hear them used interchangeably, but more often than not, and especially in my opera world, oftentimes head voice refers to the highest registration in the female voice, where falsetto refers to the highest registration in the male voice. And technically, anyone can whistle. Whistle registration, whistle tones. Now, there are many vocal professionals who believe that vocal fry is actually a therapeutic thing that they can use for certain students or certain vocalists. I myself am not a fan of using fry as a warm-up or a vocalese, a vocal exercise, but I recognize and understand why the proponents for it are for it. The science behind what could actually help a singer by way of vocal fry is if the singer has an incredibly breathy tone or a very breathy voice. So the science of it is that in order to create vocal fry, you have to use a certain amount of energy, you have to use a certain amount of tension, glottal tension, that apparently doesn't actually affect your throat, but is tension in your glottis. And so that tension can make it easier to come onto the voice if you're somebody with a breathy tone. Oftentimes, if you have a very breathy voice, it's because you're not coming onto your voice. Often when you have a breathy tone, it's living pretty much in something of a whisper or off the voice where you're not actually speaking into or singing into the fullness of your voice, but you're more in taking head voice down into your chest. The easier way of explaining this would be to have you take your head voice, the voice you use when you're up in your head, and this can be for men too, the voice you use when you're up in your falsetto. Take that voice and take it down into your chest and try to speak there and try to stay there. So if you're somebody who has a breathier voice or has a hard time coming onto the voice, using vocal fry to help your onset, meaning how you begin making sound, can help you link into a more present tone and fuller voice. So for those of us who have struggled with onset, meaning when you begin making sound, it starts kind of hobbly, a little struggle bus. If you are having that kind of issue, or you're somebody who just has a hard time giving a full present tone, then using vocal fry to practice coming onto the voice can help you find your way into a fuller voice when you start to sing or speak. Vowels are the main culprit when you have a hard time coming onto a healthy onset when you're singing. And so oftentimes what I would teach is use an H before the vowel to learn how to do a smooth onset, and over time drop the H and you'll be able to just sing the vowel. However, apparently, if you use vocal fry as a way of coming onto the voice, that can also help you not go into a glottal attack, but also help you come onto the voice and not stay in that heady, breathy tone. So what is my personal opinion on vocal fry? Well, in my personal opinion, and I've talked about this in my other vocal fry video, considering what we're using vocal fry for, there are a ton of other exercises that are far more healthy and far less controversial that you can use to balance phonation, develop a stronger mechanism, and build technique. Now, I'm not totally against fry. I actually utilize fry in a lot of the different genres I sing in. But using fry as a warm-up, using fry as a vocal exercise, I personally do not. But that's not to say that you cannot, and that's not to say that you should not. But as for me and my studio, we will not be using vocal fry. So we have solved the case, everyone! Yay! We now know that vocal fry is in fact a register, whether or not you agree with that. So that'll do it for today. So that'll do it for today. Thank you, Gumshoes, for being with me. I can't wait to see you at the next investigation. Bye! So that'll do it for today. We made it to the end of the case. Yeah, we made it now. We made it, yeah. That'll do it for today. So that'll do it for today. Yeah, that's it.